a 112-86 victory over Wichita State. This game fell into the category of this could be one that Memphis drops. We talked about that. We talked about Wichita State and Tulane being two potential teams in the conference that could give them not a run for their money in terms of like conference standings, but a team that could upset them and surprise them in a game. Well, Memphis delivered their biggest win of the year, had good performances from multiple players. And as you mentioned, an incredible second half. It was relatively tight through the first half, and Memphis really caught fire and ended up running away with this game. And as I mentioned, getting their biggest win of the year. What did you think, Gabe Kuhn?
I think that you had a run of 5 games after the top 25 stretch. After Virginia, of course. You had Vandy, Austin Peay, at Tulsa, SMU, UTSA. And you just played down the competition. And you were wondering, like, okay, when are you going to learn your lesson? Especially once they got into conference play, played that overtime game with UTSA. You're like, oh, my gosh, I thought you would have learned your lesson by now, right? You already played close with SMU and Tulsa. You had to have Javon Quinterly knock down a 3 with 3 and 4 seconds left, respectively. And that UTSA game, I was just so I was unenthused with their effort and the performance they brought. But then you go on the road at Wichita State and you're wondering, oh God, like, is this, if Wichita State goes up early, this thing could flip on its head. I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with this team because not only the 112, that is the most points scored in a conference game in the American Athletic Conference in its history. And I know it's a short history, but 2, I think that this team decided to sort of rally around Jaquan Walton's rallying cry, where he said, if you let them get up in this game early, it's going to be a real struggle because Wichita shows up for their basketball team. They came out, the first half was relatively close, but after they got out of halftime, they just said to hell with it and just started going nuts. And Jaquan Walton was one of those guys, Javon Quinterly, David Jones. Like, you just keep going down the list. I was just impressed with the resolve there. This was one that we were scared of, that we circled, and they clearly circled it as well. And I think that that's a positive thing.
Yeah, this isn't something that we normally do, but you typically don't have a game where you score 112 points. Like, just running down the stat lines from this game and what the players did, it just shows you what we've talked about all off season and all during the season, that when this team is firing on all cylinders, they have so much firepower. You look at Malcolm Dandridge with 10 points and 7 rebounds, David Jones with 19 points, 17 in the second half, Nick Jourdain with 12 points, only missed 1 shot, Jaquan Walton with 23, 6 of 8 from 3, Javon Quinterly, 23 points, 11 assists, 5 of 6 from 3, Naquan Tomlin with 14 points off the bench, hit 2 threes. Memphis went 19 of 30 from the three-point line, shot 63% from 3 and 65% from the floor. Like, this was as good of an offensive performance as you could possibly have. This was every single player on the team, maybe not playing to like 100% top of their best game ability as an individual, but as a team offensively, I don't think you can have a more pure game than this.
It was dead on. And the 19 for 30 from 3 was nuts.
Insane.
What bothers me, though, is, okay, you can enjoy it. Like, you feel good about where this team is headed, and, the fact that their metrics are looking better. They jumped from 50th to 39th in net because they blew out a team. And apparently with the net, for whatever reason, blowouts matter more than winning against good competition. But that's neither here nor there. But it does frustrate you after you have the happiness in the moment. It does frustrate you. It's like, damn, guys, you're capable of this. You have enough three-point shooting. You play enough defense. You can get up and down the floor. You can attack the basket. And then, like the previous 5 games, they just didn't quite do that at a high enough level. And I thought also that they were unbelievable at sharing the ball. Exactly. I mean, Javon Quinterly had 11 assists. Everybody else in the starting lineup had 3+. So it's like, you enjoy that for what it was, but you're like, guys, continue this. Like, you're way too talented to go to overtime with UTSA. You're way too talented to, on your home floor, have to have a prayer 3 thrown up by Javon Quinterly. That's the frustrating part of where this team's at. But at the same time, The not so frustrating part, and I never want to lose sight of this. There's way more positive than negative. This team's 15-2. They just broke the top 10 in the AP poll.
Yep.
They've got 4 top 25 wins on the year. They managed that out of conference unbelievably, and they're undefeated in conference, and they're the favorite to go win the American Athletic Conference. Like, there's a bunch of positive, but you just wish they could recreate what they did against Wichita State on the road every single night against in-conference opponents. Then you wouldn't have to sweat it.